Is email marketing dead? That is what we are looking at in the next episode of the HyperFast Agent Show. Stand by, you don't want to miss this one. All right, welcome back to the HyperFast Agent Show. Today we're going to take a look at email marketing. Email marketing has been around for over 25 years now. It started in the late 90s, maybe even sooner in some cases, but it's been around for a while, quarter of a century old, and a lot of people think that it's dead, and I'm here to tell you that is not true. That is wrong. In fact, I would argue it's more relevant than ever. When you look at the different ways to communicate with people on the internet right now, email marketing is the one you have the most control over, right? If you build a list of people, you have that list. You can email them from multiple different platforms like Constant Contact, MailChimp, CRMs, Follow Up Boss, directly from Gmail. Like, you have the data, right? You can get in front of them. You can monitor open rates. Compare that to social media, right? Compare it to TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. The algorithms are constantly changing. New platforms are constantly emerging. And we've seen this time again, right? Like, if you go back over a decade, you look at Facebook, they came out with, pages for businesses. And at some point in time, and many of you listening to this may be too young to remember, but getting people to follow your business became important. Then all of a sudden there was no reach, right? So you could have thousands of followers for your business, post on it, and no one would see it, right? Because Facebook controls how the algorithm works. They control where that traffic goes, and then all of a sudden, if you wanted to get in front of your customers, you had to pay for traffic, right? You had to buy ads. Same thing happened with Instagram. Same thing happened with TikTok. Like, I remember back when in 2020, 21, when TikTok was becoming big, like, a bad video for me back then would get 10,000 views. A good one would get, hundreds of thousands, right? Like, and then all of a sudden the algorithm changed, and, ads came on the platform. You had to pay for traffic. So, that's the advantage, right? You have with email marketing, right? You own that list. Not completely, right? Because email providers can, have different things for spam and filters and all sorts of stuff, but you own it so much more than you do like your TikTok followers, your Instagram followers, your Facebook followers, right? So email marketing is more important than ever. Now, if you are going to fully utilize it, there are definitely a couple concepts, specifically 4 that I want to go over today. All right, number 1, your email needs to follow a simple formula that I first heard from funnel hacking and ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson, right? Hook, story, offer. Like, every email should have a hook, right? Like something to get their attention, to hit the open button. That should transition to a story, and there should be an offer, right? So if you're a real estate agent out there, the hook could be some dilemma a buyer was facing. The story is how you solved it, and the offer is like, hey, if you're facing the same problem or dilemma, like, click here to get on my calendar, or reply to this email to book an appointment. Okay, so and the hook, story, offer framework is true for like your Instagram and YouTube and Facebook content as well, but especially in the emails, right? Like, have a good hook in the subject line, the transitions to a good story, the transitions to a good offer. Okay, new leads come in, right? This is concept number 2. New leads come in, you need a really good warm-up series, right? So depending on how they come in, they could be a buyer lead, a seller lead, someone you met at an open house, right? You can like really segment and break it down, but they should have a 3-part email series that goes out to them, that really warms them up to who you are, right? That tells your story, tells how you've solved problems for people that are in the same place that they are, and just, builds the future relationship. So before they kind of go into your like general email bin, I want you to put them through this warm-up series that, paints you as the person that has solved the problems that they are in. Okay. All right. Number 3, consistency. You have to be consistent with your email marketing. All right. So you can have great hooks, story, offer. You can build the warm-up stories, the bridge, right? Depending on how they come in. But then if you're not consistent, they're going to forget about you. Now, I think as a real estate agent, you should be hitting your database at least once a week. I know some people preach monthly. I'm more of a once a week person. All right. In fact, for the content that I create for real estate agents, I'm typically emailing daily. Now, daily might be too much for your average buyer and seller, and and that's one thing to I think you should be aware of, right? Is the people that get on like podcasts or Instagram and teach content to real estate agents, sometimes most of their experience is in creating content for real estate agents, not for buyers and sellers. So for buyers and sellers, once a week is really a great cadence to hit. If you can hit that cadence, you can include a lot. Your updates can include like general news, what's going on in the market, specific news about what's going on locally. You can put your open houses in there, your coming soons, your buyer needs, all sorts of great stuff. And be consistent with it. The more consistent you are, the more top of mind you're going to be when they're in the buying mode, whether they're a buyer or seller. And number 4 is sometimes you need to do emails that will just activate your database. Activation emails. What is an activation email? Well, it can mean a number of things, right? Like, there's one, like, for example, one you could send to your buyers, like, are you still interested in buying a house in Arlington, Virginia? And it can be very simple, very short, right? A great activation email for a seller, which would be compelling, would be a headline that says, people aren't buying homes anymore. Okay, that could be your subject line, right? And then how do you tell a story about that? Hey, oftentimes I hear that from people that they don't think people are buying homes anymore. The reality couldn't be further from that. The fact is, X percentage of homes that went on the market in the last 2 weeks sold, and X percent of closings were at this percent of list price or above, right? So if you're thinking about selling, chances are your home's going to go really fast and at or above market value, right? Whatever the data supports. So if you are thinking that it might be a good time to sell, but you're worried, now would be a great time to email me to get a free home evaluation. Okay, something like that, right? Like we used a hook that made them think something wasn't happening, but then we told the story of how it actually was, and that's just the rumor. And then, right, we're using that to activate sellers. So, summarize real quickly. Make sure your emails have a good hook, story, offer. Make sure you're doing a warm-up series for new leads that come in, and you can make it different for buyers or sellers or how you met them. Make sure you're consistent, I think at least once a week, and make sure every now and then you do these activation emails to activate sellers, activate buyers. If you stick to these principles, you're going to get 30, 40% open rates, maybe even more. Right now, just to give you guys an example, we're sending out 1 million emails a month just to our agent base. Our buyer seller base, we're probably sending out over 1 million, and we're frequently at 40% and higher open rates. So huge open rates, huge audiences. We're sending out a lot. Email marketing is a great way in 2024 to own your data, own your list, right? It's not on a platform that can change overnight like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all these other ones, right? So yes, email marketing does work. Yes, you should do it. Yes, you should do it right. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the HyperFast Show. By the way, I just want to say real quick, if you want to partner with Carrie Shull and I at eXp Realty, you get so much more than just being, just the normal benefits you get at EXP, right? Because everyone at EXP is on the 16K cap, the super low cap. They get revenue share, they get stock awards, they get access to this huge referral network. But when you join us, right, when you align with our revenue share group, we give you all of the HyperFast Agent Academy. We give you multiple Zoom trainings a month. We we become partners in trying to help you sell more homes and build your own revenue share group. If you want to learn more about how your business could look at eXp Realty with us, all you need to do is send me a text message at 703-638-4393. Again, that's 703-638-4393. Thanks for tuning in this episode of the HyperFast Show. We will see you next time.